This week on Tech Talk Tonight, we got an RPG in Excel, we got QBasic games, we got HTML5, we've got Snooki going to Mars, and a bunch of other stories. It's jam-packed. We almost had too many stories. All this and more coming up next.
Tech Talk Tonight, episode 83 for Wednesday, April 17th, 2013. On Snooki on Earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is Tech Talk Tonight. We are here once again in the basement studio. Gavin,
hello.
How are you?
What's up, Braden? I am good. How are you?
I am doing.
No, I am good, or I am well. Which one is it?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Because you need to be better than well. You need to be pumped. You need to be excited. You need to be ecstatic.
I'm excited about making money off of all of our viewers. Everybody's going to buy the most expensive Amazon thing.
What is the most expensive Amazon thing? That would be interesting to know.
There's a list out there.
It's probably an HDMI cable. That's my bet.
There's some schemes where, because you can set your own price, so there's schemes where a book is like $1 million or something. I forget which one.
Well, what if it's like a very rare book?
Oh, right.
What if it's written on human flesh? What if it's the Necronomicon or Nama?
In the chat room, they're still talking about our top YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about mine, which is, we won't discuss that. What is our top YouTube video watched of all time?
A Tech Talk Tonight is
episode what?
54.
All right.
What do you think we talked about in episode 54?
Google probably.
Nope. Adobe Lightroom versus, what was it, Aperture? No, versus Picasa.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Lightroom's definitely one.
Yeah, I would say so,
We should go back, though. Sometime we should go back and do an inside the behind the scenes.
Inside the actor studio?
No, behind the scenes commentary, where we talk about how dumb we were.
I agree with that. Dude, I kind of do that when I do my rewatches and stuff of the old stuff to go back and find the sound clips. It's true. It's so bad.
Speaking of dumb things, what is going on in the news? Tech news this week, Braden.
There's a lot of things going on in the tech news. This was actually a story that we posted right away after last week's episode, and Google came out with this more or less a way to deal with your account in the afterlife.
You posted this, but I thought it was very interesting because many people in our sphere of media that we watch, like Brian Brushwood, like Twit, have talked about this idea. I think Brian Brushwood even has a kind of scheme with P. Del Hante about, a kill switch on your tweets, right? Like it sends you an email every 2 weeks, and if you don't reply, it assumes you're dead or something.
I could be dead. You don't know.
But that's very similar to this idea, which Google is saying that. Have you actually done this yet?
No, I have not.
I read the story, but I didn't actually investigate to see if it actually exists.
No, it definitely does exist, and I like this concept because
the basic concept, to tell everybody, is that you can instruct Google on what to do upon your death. Right. If you don't log in within X number of days, they're going to assume you're dead. This is morbid, and they will.
Hey, it happens.
And then you can instruct them to email, certain people, certain stuff. I guess like your secret passwords.
Your will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think that's legally binding, but okay. Your will still has to be executed.
What about the longitude and latitude of where you hid your treasure?
Yeah, or your passwords, right?
Yeah.
And then it can also optionally close your Google account, which is in their best interest, right? Because
it's not taking up space on their servers.
Someday usernames are going to be all taken over, right?
Someday.
Has anyone thought about this? This is a problem.
No, by that point we're going to be
in like 10 years. The only new Google IDs are going to be like 10 characters long minimum.
I'd be okay with that. That makes it more secure to begin with. So
that doesn't make it more secure. It just makes it more annoying.
Well, what about this as a concept? Don't you think when people die and stuff, okay, with this, what if it was, because this could eventually roll around, they could add in this feature, Google puts your username up for auction. What if that happened? Or gave your family permission to put your username up for auction?
That would be kind of cool. I mean, I've got some domain names that I wish they'd put up for auction.
How many are you currently holding on to?
I've got way too many domain names. Yeah. Now that I'm married, my wife's making me get rid of them.
Aww.
This sucks.
It's okay.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, way to go, Google. I mean, it's not something that anyone wants to think about. I don't even have a will.
Well,
but
I was going to mention there are other third-party sites out there already doing this, but I feel
I trust Google more.
Yeah, I trust Google more
really
with
trust
this
Google,
specific
but
thing.
I'm forced to trust Google because they already have my information anyway.
Right.
A story that I posted a few days ago: Windows 8.1 will include boot to desktop option.
Blue.
Hallelujah.
Windows Blue, right?
Basically, the new version of Windows 8, the first point release, I guess you could call it a service pack, perhaps, will have an option to boot directly to the desktop. Have you played with Windows 8 yet, Braden?
Yes, I have Windows 8 installed on one machine. It is the least used machine in this house, probably.
Yes.
It's currently not hooked up to internet.
Interesting.
It's a
So you
loud
don't like it.
computer.
And it's not on a tablet.
It's
I
not
haven't
on a
actually
tablet.
played with Windows 8 on a tablet device yet, so I have to say that. I did play with it.
I would like to see that too.
I played with it in a virtual machine, which is even more annoying than anywhere else because you can't drag your mouse up to the corner.
Right.
You have to use the keyboard shortcuts to get the sidebar and the thing with the thing. Windows 8 with a boot to desktop, would you use it as your primary? You don't use Windows anyway.
Yeah, I do. My main computer is a Windows machine.
I think I would. I think Windows 8 seems a little bit faster. It seems modern, and if it booted, well, I guess, and they're going to include the start menu. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So if they bring back the start menu and they bring back, well, then it's basically Windows 7.
Yeah, this is them giving up, basically. They're like, they had the concept of, we're going to make you do it this new way because it's new and improved and it's better. Bill Gates did an AMA on Reddit. He came out and specifically said, new is better, talking about Windows 8. And this is
that's
them
because that's the only
reneging
way
on that.
the only way that Microsoft has ever made money is by releasing new versions, right? New versions of Office, new versions of Windows is how they make their bread and butter.
Right.
They've never created significant sources of income other than that. They've dabbled in things. Okay, other than Xbox, you were going to tell me. But
I wasn't even going to go that route. I was going to go the route of Microsoft. Okay, you've got your consumer people that Windows makes money off of, but the real bread and butter, as you coined, Windows is going after the corporate market because there's, everybody has to have a PC now at their job. So
well, that makes no sense with Windows 8 then. Windows 8 is the opposite of corporate. Windows 8 is consumer.
That's why I'm saying they're doing this Windows 8.1 to try to entice that corporate market a little bit more.
I could see that.
I can see the place that I work switching over to Windows 8.1 tenfold over ever trying to switch to 8.
Rob in the chat room is saying that his current PCs are good enough. And there was actually did we talk about this a few weeks ago? There was an article saying we're now in the good enough PC era.
Yeah, I agree with this.
That the reason why the Dell and Gateway and all these computer manufacturers are not growing as much as they did in the 90s. I mean, this is kind of obvious. But PCs are fast enough. People aren't, like back in the day, you were upgrading from 500 megahertz to a gigahertz processor, and that was crazy increases. But now you can go from 3.4 to 3.5 gigahertz increase, and it's like, you're really getting a speed up from just reinstalling Windows, frankly.
So here's a question. Why did you recently have to build a new computer?
Because I was changing from laptop to desktop.
Oh, well, that's a good reason then.
And a desktop allows me more expansion, so a desktop will potentially hold me over for the next 5, 6, 7 years, hopefully. I can continue to increase RAM. I can put in a solid-state drive. I can change the processor. All those things will be marginal increases in cost and basically keeping me on the...
And plus, you already got the laptop, and you got that nice new house to put this desktop in.
Yeah,
so.
got to do that. So anyway... What?
A little bit more about Microsoft. This is the next story with Netflix planning to move over to HTML5 over their current use of Microsoft Silverlight.
Yeah, Netflix is widely considered the last large company using Silverlight.
They're the only people that I know
Most
are
people
using
don't.
Silverlight.
Well, so...
The Olympics. The Olympics use Silverlight a bunch.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. Did they even use it this year?
4 years ago.
I thought they used Flash this year.
They It was not Silverlight this year. The Olympics before this last one. So what did we just have? The Summer Olympics? It was the Winter Olympics.
This is very clearly the death knell. Death knoll?
Well, no.
I don't know.
Microsoft
death
already
bell of Silverlight.
Microsoft already said, I believe it's 2021, 2022. They're ceasing production on Silverlight completely. No longer supported in 2021. I'm going to go with that number.
Well, yeah, so Silverlight has been going. I mean, it seems like web plugins are getting less and less popular, even Flash, right?
Yep.
Everything's going HTML5.
And why not do it with the browser? Why make your
the
browsers
main, the
even
main
more
thing
bulkier
that
with
this
stuff
article
like that?
talks about is that they have to put in their license DRM stuff. So DRM is built into Silverlight easily.
Yeah.
It's not built into the HTML5 video specs, so they're working on.
So it's better for
modifying.
us, not people trying to
But
make money
they're
off
pretty
of
much
us.
not going to switch to it until that's modified, so they can do that, right? Because they have to do the DRM stuff through their contracts. But it's exciting that they're announcing that they'll change it.
All right. Pick one or two. What do you want to go to next?
So next we have two quick gaming stories right before our random subreddit of the week. The first one is an Excel spreadsheet.
This is the one I picked. And this could almost be my cool thing of the week because what happens when you're bored at work, Gavin? Do you pick up, do you do any, projects, create proxies or something when you're bored at work?
I'm never bored at work. I love my job.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps you are bored at work and we're fairly good at Excel, and you like creating games, and you liked RPGs, which is role-playing games for those not in the acronym know. This guy went and created an entire RPG within Excel. It has quests, it has gear.
Can you actually download this? I tried to find it, but I couldn't really figure it out.
Well, there's a little bit of a controversy about that.
Can you use Excel, the latest version? Is it an XLSX file or a .xls?
It's called arena.xlsm.
Here it is, release version 1.1.
And he's getting a
WordPress
little
blog.
flack because the plugins are they can't verify that the plugins don't have malware in them because he has them all password protected to protect the game essentially. And he doesn't want people looking at his code because his code must not be that good. But the game is functional and works. So
yeah, but the problem with running macros. This is why when Office 2000 or whatever, they lock down macros so that it's like, you didn't make this and you didn't get it from a trusted source. Are you sure you want to run this? Yes.
Right.
Are you really, really sure you want to run this? Yes. We don't think you should run this. Please go here and uncheck this box before macros are very dangerous if you don't know exactly what's in them because you're essentially giving code free reign to run on your system.
Right. So this guy said basically only download it from my site. It's the only one that I can verify that there is no malware in, but I'm not giving you the passcodes to get into my macros.
I mean, it's a cool idea. I like it.
Use at your own risk.
The other gaming story is also taking a weird technology and making a game out of it. QBasic. QBasic, I love this story because I learned programming on QBasic.
Really?
Yeah, I took they had some sort of class for kids back in the day when I was in, I think, 6th or 7th grade.
Really?
And they taught us QBasic, and
At St. Paul?
No, it was through BAC. Bring a crayon.
Bring a crayon.
But it was that was good times. I launched my programming career, but these guys, it's not actually released yet, but they released a promo video.
It always seems like that, doesn't it?
I didn't really understand what's the deal. Are they going to release it soon?
I would say so. And they show off some of the other games that have ever been done in QBasic, and they're very plain. But this one, on the other hand, seems a little bit. It's a step above the rest in QBasic, it seems, and it's a espionage type game, and you're going around this office stealing stuff. You can.
Do people really like games?
People really do like games,
Gavin. I don't play games. I don't really.
Wouldn't you try this game since it's done in QBasic?
It's a waste of time. I could be doing other things
like podcasting.
Anyway, this is where we'd put an ad for those.
How about this
sell
ad?
some soap on Amazon. And
How about this ad, Gavin?
GavinR.com. Yes. If you're buying things, go to GavinR.com/Amazon. No,
That didn't give me a good link today. It goes to an empty blog post on your website.
that's because you
Anyway.
got Ghostery running.
Okay, fine. Colorized History is our subreddit this week. Colorized history.
/r/colorized history.
Yes. Or colorized
Is this
history.
actually random? Because this is a pretty good,
Yes.
good subreddit.
This was completely random. Totally just clicked the button today, and this came up. So it's pictures from the past that were all in black and white, and people have done a lot of detail in colorizing these things. Now, right now, I just have the FAQ up, but we'll jump here to the top. Sorry,
Top all time.
Top
Unemployed
all-time.
lumber worker.
There it is.
1939.
A lot of detail done. Trying to get his
And-
chest hair the right color, I guess, was
So the
a
cool
feat in
things
itself.
on some of these are that they post an Image UR album with the gray one and the color one.
Right.
I don't see anyone actually doing that on the top ones, but then you can switch between the two and see how they are. I think it would be cool if they made a rule that you have to start with the gray and then you switch to the color. I guess that would be hard to.
No,
for
that
everybody
is.
to see
What do you mean? You start with the gray and then switch to the color. They
like
are.
when you opened up by default, it would show the gray.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
No,
that
would be cool.
That would make it hard for people to browse, I guess.
So
But
first off, you're not going to be able to post in this subreddit
what? Why not?
because it is heavily moderated, and they only want the best colorized pictures going onto this subreddit.
Oh, I don't know how.
So
I
it's
feel
very
about
it's
that.
very tailored to. But no, I like this. Like it's okay that some subreddits are like this. We've got it's the moderators do a good job. They got back to me real quick today when I sent them a message about this, and they were very excited. And they're giving a way to monetize things as stuff as well in this. Say you have a old picture of your relatives that needs to be colorized.
All right.
They're hooking you up with people that are talented, like the people that have already done these pictures and stuff.
That's
To
a really
get
good point.
that type
That's
of
a really
stuff
good
done.
idea.
And you have to prove your worth to be able to get yourself posted on.
Is it
stuff
really
these
hard
things.
to do these things though? Like I've never tried it, but it seems like just I could open it up with paint and use the old.
I don't think they're
use
using
the old
paint.
spray paint brush.
See, that would be a picture that they reject. This takes some Photoshop skill to
Subreddit
get-
idea. Subreddit /r/colorized photos rejects.
That would be funny too. Or colorized photos MS Paint.
Yes.
People
We're
that only
starting that in the after show.
that would be kind of funny.
How many viewers? How much activity does this get?
This is currently at 9,540 amateur historians.
Yes, and there's
Subscribe,
only 10
people.
people live right now, so it's not the biggest subreddit at all, but it's moderate, and it's got lots of good content because, as you said, it's heavily moderated. Like all of these are really good. It's like
They are very good.
you get desensitized to how good they are, right? Like
Yeah, because they seem like they should have been taken in color. Like I love the Jim Henson with Kermit on there, the banner that they use. We'll switch back to that, and I don't know who that lady is, but I'm pretty sure that's a very old photograph.
Nope,
We got
that was
Albert
from today.
Einstein, and who's the guy on the far right? Do you know who that is, Gavin? I want to say it's like Tesla, but I don't know that for sure.
I'm not on the page. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, is that all you got about the subreddit of the week?
That's pretty much. So let's just look at this Marlon Brando from Streetcar Named Desire picture. That was probably his mugshot or whatever. This
sure-
one doesn't look like this one. I can tell that it was colorized. Sorry.
Whoa, that was something.
Yeah, that was
That
unprofessional.
happened. That happened.
Luckily, they weren't looking at me.
Here's women's suffrage.
Would you just end their suffraging now, Gavin? Just end their. Okay, sorry, that
That's
was
enough.
bad joke. Bad joke.
That's grade school level.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, that's our subreddit of the week.
Subreddit of the week.
All right, we've got we're running out of time here. We've got lots more stories. Braden, what are your top stories out of the ones that are left?
Which one do I like the best? Well, Gavin. I'll let you do the last one you got there, but do you want to go to Mars?
Not really.
You don't want to go to Mars. You wouldn't take a one-way ticket to Mars.
There's nothing there. Is there internet in Mars?
No.
No.
Well, like, you would be famous. That's basically like the only upside I see to this.
No,
you would
but
be famous.
I don't think he would be famous. Okay, first person to be on.
Do you
the
not
Mars,
know
I
who
guess.
Neil Armstrong is?
Who's that?
Buzz Aldrin?
John Glenn, dude.
What?
John Glenn. He
What
was the
about
first guy in space.
Well, Doug, where are you on this one? Doug?
Isn't it? Or was it the chimpanzee?
Doug agrees with me. You would be famous.
Yeah.
Doug, do you want to go to Mars? That's what I want to know.
Why don't we remember the animals that went to space first?
Oh, yeah. That's totally
You're an
not true.
animalist.
John Glenn was not the first guy in space. It was a Russian.
Don't know.
Russians beat us to the space, and we beat them to the moon.
Well,
Who was it?
Somebody sent the Russians sent a chimpanzee. That's not a human.
No, they were. Glenn was first American to orbit, not the first person.
Okay. This is what grinds. Throw the grinds my gears. Come here.
All right, here we go. Gavin, what grinds your gears?
No, this kind of stuff, right? Like, it seems like everything with space and NASA has like a first this, a first that. It's almost as bad as baseball.
It's the final frontier.
there's-
These people are risking their lives to go out of our atmosphere. How can you not?
There are literally every single day you could say, so this is some big day with NASA, and Doug posts them onto his Facebook every day.
That's why I like Doug on Facebook. I like reading his
It's
stuff.
like, oh, this is the first day that we took an orbit a quarter of the turn around the Earth. Oh, this is the first day we went over the North Pole.
And
This
the
is
first person
day.
in space was Yuri Gagarin.
I could seriously come up with like 10,000 space facts.
That's fine.
And NASA people do not worry about spouting them off all the time.
But we do as Americans that had to sit through 12, 14 years of history classes all throughout grade school and high school.
Sorry,
You okay there? Hot
my,
flash?
My
Hot
yelling,
flash?
my yelling was no. I mean, I think there are
10,000spacefacts.com.
dude
Murder pills.
murder pills. No, I mean
Wow.
it's not that bad. I'm exaggerating, but that is a thing. Don't you agree? Like, it's hard to keep all these facts. You know, like, oh, this guy's the guy who did the orbit. Oh, this guy's the one who got to the moon but didn't get out of the moon. This one's the first
That's
one who's
fine.
on the
I'm
moon.
okay with all those facts being out there.
You want
The
to be
real
one of those
question
facts.
is,
You were the first person on Mars,
yes.
or were you the first person to approach Mars but die?
This
you'll be
could also be true.
You'll be famous either way.
Do you realize that they're almost no, I shouldn't even say almost. They're turning this into a reality TV show. Cuz you're supposed to send a 1 minute like resume video
Okay, well,
to get chosen
space travel has just jumped the shark.
to go die on your way to Mars. And yeah, I agree with you. It's jumping the shark, but
in like 1 or 2 years, space travel won't be a big deal, right? Like,
hopefully.
right? Yeah. So,
Space elevator, anybody?
I mean,
Doug, you working on that? Get on that.
everybody enjoy this while you can, because someday it'll just be commonplace.
Okay,
right?
so the question is
Or not commonplace, but like you could pay a reasonable amount of money, like $5 grand, $10 grand, to take a trip up to space.
yes.
NBD.
But do
And
you still
and you can't use your cell phone.
You're saying you don't want to go to Mars?
No, I don't.
Are you going to watch the people that go to Mars? Are you going to watch that reality TV show? Chat room, are you going to watch that reality TV show?
Well, now we're just gonna send like Snooki up to Mars or something. It's gonna be horrible.
Would you like to watch Snooki die?
This is going to start the nuclear war of
No!
2015. When
This
we
is going to prevent it because
No,
people are going to be too busy watching how long Snooki can survive in space.
we send Snooki to Mars, and Russia nuclear bombs us because they're so pissed at the outrageousness of this.
Rob brings up a good point. It'd be one less Snooki on Earth.
That's true. Anyway, so you want to go to Mars? I'm assuming.
Dude, I like really thought about this today. Like, do you want to die in space or Mars? Like,
don't you like?
that's deep, and like I don't think I could.
No.
I don't think I could do it,
Oh, really?
despite being like famous for it.
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
would probably-
coward.
You would probably
like,
suffocate.
but you have to like basically face the fact that you're a coward then if you say that. And I
No,
had
you
to come.
don't.
Yes, you do. Why are you not brave enough to go to the final frontier?
I'm brave enough. I'm just not going to do it.
Would you spend your
Are
entire
you brave
time?
enough to go into the jelly donut shop every morning?
What does that have to do with anything?
It's the exact same thing. Just because you don't want to do something doesn't mean you're not brave. I'm brave enough not to eat Cheetos every day. It's either a genius argument or a horrible argument.
I'm going with horrible.
It's one of the two. I don't quite know. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Your story then. Off this.
So we've only got a few more seconds left. Anonymous raises $54,000 through Indiegogo.
I really like this.
That's cool and all, but my question is, how is Anonymous getting money?
That's
that makes
true.
them not anonymous if they've associated a bank account with themselves.
That's true. Like that was the question that I brought up, and it's not brought up in your article. It just talks about the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah,
so we need to find that information.
We shouldn't post the next web aren't they widely regarded as just clickbait whores? We should not post their stories.
I did not know that, but you were the one that posted this.
I know I did it, but
who's accepting that check? I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, shouldn't that be like public knowledge on? I guess Indiegogo does what they want, but
like if they have a news site and have this like money and stuff,
who's
don't
on
they
the
have
Who
to
Is?
file taxes? Something. Well, you could spoof the Who Is, couldn't you?
Could you?
You
have to pay a domain registrar.
If these people
somewhere.
really are the,
you have to pay someone has to pay a domain registrar.
Okay, so you come up with some fake Russian person
I
that
guess you could do
doesn't actually exist, and they pay for it.
You could do that. Maybe they only took Bitcoin.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing.
They did. They actually do take Bitcoin, but you couldn't get the rewards if you paid for in Bitcoin, which was weird. I don't know why. I guess because it's more anonymous or something.
Yep.
But Bitcoin is less anonymous.
Why is that less anonymous?
Because you can.
How are people buying drugs with it then?
For a particular Bitcoin, you know all the transactions that it's been. That's public knowledge. You can look up a Bitcoin and say, "Oh,
Couldn't
this
you
is
use
transacted
an
with
alias?
this person." I guess, but you can see all its transactions. That seems not very anonymous to me.
Yeah.
Even if they are all fake names on the transactions, it's still seeing the transaction history.
And Rob's bringing up the big crash in Bitcoin, so like they would have had to like buy even more.
We called it. We were
call
talking about this.
Wait, was that last week? No, we did this already.
Oh.
No,
It
we
was
didn't.
2
I guess
weeks
we
ago.
didn't know.
It
Was it in the Red Book?
It was last week.
Anyway, we were talking about the crash of Bitcoin when it was crashing.
And we didn't know it was happening, so
Right.
that makes us
we were
like
busy doing this stuff.
modern day Nostradamus, pretty much.
Pretty much, because
That's a show title.
I like one less Snooki on Earth. I think that's the show title.
Apple
already.
stock price hits low. Okay, let's do the lightning round.
okay,
Apple
so
stock price hits the lowest levels.
That's basically the story right there.
And Steve, you can watch Funny or Die. They made the Steve Jobs autobiography.
It's a funny autobiography.
It's so long. Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I didn't get a chance to. I want to. It's got Hugo from Lost in it. You didn't watch Lost. Anyway.
And we'll put all the rest of the links in the show notes. Tell me, if
Justin
someone
Lang
wanted to
plays-
find all these links in our show notes, where would they go for that information, Braden?
wikia.something.techtalktonight.com.
How about just techtalktonight.com and then there's a link from there?
That's even better. And don't go to youtube.com/techtalktonight. It's not us, people. They have an interesting logo. They have one video posted. It's not us.
It's not us.
Just go to techtalktonight.com and follow our links to our YouTube stuff. Thank you. And, raise my numbers so I have more views than Gavin
Everybody
on YouTube.
follow me on twitter.com/GavinR if you want some great tweets throughout the week. I actually never tweet I tweet about once a week, so you can add me and I won't spam you. And this is how I'm getting more followers. I
doubt that's how that's working.
When you tweet, you get less followers, I've found out.
Maybe
How
if you
should
just
people-
tweet good content and then
How should people get your good content, Braden?
they should go to @BradenH on Twitter and follow me there.
You should also subscribe to the show on iTunes if you're interested in this drivel that we talk about every week. And you can subscribe on YouTube, as we said. And you can check out the calendar. We keep that updated on techtalktonight.com. Twitter.com/techtalktonight. Anything else that people could be interested in?
Subscribing on YouTube, that would always help us out. Because YouTube's that growing social network. It's going to be the biggest one ever. And with that, I think we should say goodnight, Gavin.
Yep.
Don't
See
you?
you guys later. Thanks for watching.